Okay, it's time for another beer, rum, and rock rock shot. This is the kind of show we hate doing, but unfortunately for rock music fans, these are the times we're living in. The world of rock has lost another icon. Edward Van Halen, legendary guitarist, innovator, virtuoso, one of the greatest players in rock history, died Tuesday after a long battle with cancer. He was 65 years old. His son Wolfgang made an announcement on social media. His statement read as follows: "I can't believe I'm having to write this, but my father, Edward Van Halen, has lost an arduous battle with cancer this morning. He was the best father I could have ever asked for. Every moment I've shared with him on and off stage was a gift. My heart is broken, and I don't think I'll ever recover from this loss." So there you have it, man. I don't know about you, but I'm crushed.
It was a bit of a shock yesterday for a lot of people, including myself.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I don't get too worked up about these kind of things. I just,
Right.
life is life, and I mean, I could look back at Tom Petty and
Sure.
David Bowie and whatever, and go Cornell, and go, oh, that's a huge loss.
Neil this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a sad
Yeah.
thing. We knew it was coming. I think we all did. I mean,
Yeah.
the guy was a big smoker, right? Like, we all knew that from a lot of photos in a
Yeah.
lot of books. He's kind of like, that's his another part of him that just is always there, right?
Well, the cool cigarette on the headstock doesn't look so cool anymore, you know? Yeah. I mean, the
Anymore.
rumors were out there. You just
Mhm.
hope they weren't true, you know? Because you'd see photos of him and he just didn't look quite right. You just didn't want to believe it.
It's a huge loss, a huge loss. Like, I'm trying to think of, we just talked to a few guys that have passed away, and this guy's on another level again, It seems really where it's just so identifiable and so part of the scene
Yeah.
on all kinds of levels, whether it's rock or pop rock, and or whatever, he's around, man.
Yeah. I mean, the outpouring from musicians on social media was just fucking overwhelming. Like, it's unreal. It's still going. This guy was loved and adored across the board.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, it's just,
Right?
it's all encompassing, this guy.
Yeah.
And not, that's rare. That's really rare.
Yeah. Man, I was at the dentist yesterday.
Hmm.
I had no idea. I came home, went to my office, sat down, and literally, as soon as my ass hit the chair, my phone and computer were just blowing up with people contacting me. And before I could even process it, you phoned. Like, it was just crazy. Like, I was just bombarded. I'm like, what is happening? And it just hit me like a ton of bricks, man. I mean, I have so many great memories, and a lot of them involve Van Halen. Like, since I was 12 years old,
Yeah. That's the year I got introduced to Eddie, with
Tell me, man, like, tell me the impact Van Halen and he had on you.
Well, I was a guitar player at 8.
Right.
So, and I was taking lessons, but I was still pretty young, and I just kind of happened across Van Halen at a music store walking home from school. There was a little strip mall by the school in Delta, British Columbia. And I'd walk past it, and I'm being a musician at that age or whatever. Obviously music is a huge part of my life, and so I walk by the store every day. This one day, it just happened to be placard with fair warning posters. Like, you couldn't even see in the store. It was just fair warning posters everywhere. Doors wide open, and their turntable is cranked with Mean Streets playing. And that right off the top, what is that noise? And then that groove.
Yeah.
And then I started asking questions, right? And then, I go to guitar lessons, and there's guys showing up with, as you can see in the background, the wallpaper there. They have guitars with painted stuff like that, and you're going, why is that? And then you get an education, who Eddie Van Halen is at a pretty young age. But
So Mean Streets was kind of your eruption in a way. Like most,
totally.
I got a few years on you as your always want to rub in. But
I'm just
yeah,
facts. Like I like facts, you know,
that's right.
and that's
Let's
right.
stick to the facts.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people's eruption, but yeah, Mean Street's just unreal. I was about 12 again at the cousin's place, and I heard Eruption. And I'm 12, fully immersed in Kiss and Aerosmith and Nugent, the usual, right?
Hmm.
Well, this just sounded like it was from fucking Mars. It just blew my mind.
Hmm.
And even at that point, I'm just 12, so I'm not processing it like this. But, in hindsight, I mean, the guy, he redefined what the guitar was supposed to sound like. And that hadn't been done since Jimmy, right? Like, it was unbelievable.
It's funny you mentioned how weird that all sounded, because last
Oh,
night I went out for drinks with another buddy of mine, another great guitar player. Just to get together. We were going to get together anyways, but unfortunately, under circumstances, our first conversation's about Eddie Van Halen because it
right.
happened, right?
Yeah.
And he's a few years on me as well. And the first thing he said was that somebody gave him a copy of Van Halen 1, and he listened to it, and the first thing he heard was, or that he responded to, was Eruption, and it sounded so foreign and so,
Yeah.
what is this noise that I am fucking falling in love with in about 4 milliseconds, like,
I know.
that's the charm, and that's the
Yeah.
impact. And this guy, he's in the Smithsonian.
That's right.
Like
Guitar. Yeah.
right, like this, when they're offering those accolades to this guy, he redefined and reinvented and re everything
He really did.
at a very young age.
Yeah. Well, let's hold this up. It's worth looking at.
Yeah. Start
But,
there. Yeah.
as weird as that was, hearing that, it's not like I rushed out and bought it. Again, I'm 12 and I'm in Kiss tunnel vision world. And, it's not like I ran out and bought the album. I didn't even buy this one yet. That got by me too, right? I mean, I'm in Kiss world.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I was there with you, brother. Yeah. Big
I didn't
time.
even buy Van Halen 2. It was this one. Women and Children First was my first album. And it's just, I just did the deep dive and just fell in love with the band from that point on, right?
Right.
And like I said, I was deep into Kiss. Kiss got me into music, but Van Halen was the first concert I saw. And it was on this tour in 1981, Fair Warning, the album you were just talking about. They got me into going to concerts because they were at the peak of their powers in my mind at that point, and it was just off the chain. The energy coming off the stage and the sonic assault was just fucking unbelievable. Like, I can't even put it into words. And it changed my life. It's that simple, right? And then this bad boy comes out. Okay. Yeah. It's not as strong as the rest. But what I remember from this tour is seeing them on the US Festival, watching the US Festival footage. And it was only 3 songs or something, but I recorded it on Betamax. And I watched that shit over and over and over. Like, that show was just phenomenal, and that's what I remember from that, because I didn't see them on the Diver Down tour, but I do remember that US Festival footage and just watching it ad nauseum.
For me, what I find amazing is that with Eddie,
Yeah.
he's always smiling.
Oh, that's a very good point.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
and so the music was fun. He was having a good time.
Totally.
It was all this, and I mean, yeah, okay, their videos, they're always having fun, but I mean, he's just smiling, and he's got such a smile, and it was just a wonderful icon that wasn't so serious and so above you. It was like this friendly dude that was just loving every minute of it, and
You're absolutely right. He took his craft seriously, but when he hit the stage, it was fun time. Right.
And that's inspiring to watch, and why we all do it, because it's fun. Playing rock music is super fun. It is.
They're throwing the party, and you're welcome. It's that kind of thing.
Right. Party music, party time.
I don't know who smiled like that on stage before that. I can't think of anybody. It's like Jimmy Page is not grinning ear to ear and
No,
playing Zeppelin. You
honestly.
know, it was just a different vibe. And you're right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And then I saw this tour, the '84 tour, and it was so massive. Like
Yeah.
it was unbelievable at that point. It was the
Mm.
spectacle when they came out. It was unreal. It was just unreal. Yeah, it was fantastic. I love the album, and the tour was just over the top great.
Well, the only time I saw Eddie play live was with you with the reunion. And
Right. So I saw them with Roth, twice with Hagar,
yeah.
and then twice with Roth for the reunion. And we went together in 2012, I believe it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was nice to see him. I mean, sure, I would
Yeah.
have loved to have seen him in the heyday. There's lots of great video, and of course, you
Sure.
can. It's
Sure.
nice to have that now.
Yeah.
It was great to see him with Roth and all that. But yeah, it was just one of those things, man. That as a young guy, it just never worked out.
It happens, man.
Yeah, yeah,
It happens.
yeah.
I mean, the three videos off '84 that were on MTV in high rotation were, again, just a blast. Like Hot
Mhm.
for Teacher and Panama and Jump. Everybody's partying, everybody's smiling. It was really infectious and phenomenal to watch, you know?
I would say that for the most part, when I'm enjoying music, I'm having a good time. I'm liking it, and that's why Van Halen is just so powerful to me. Not only do they
Yeah.
write great songs and great melodies and great everything, it was all about fun. And
It really was, yeah. Yeah.
you're
I
doing,
mean,
you mentioned Diver Down, and you got
yeah.
Big Bad Bill as Sweet William now. Like, come on, who's doing that? You know,
Well, Papa Van Halen played
right?
on that one.
Exactly. Like, this is how loose they are with this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it's really refreshing. I mean, yeah, sure, that's a weird album cut that I just mentioned, but
Yep.
still, they're
Well,
doing
I think
it.
Diamond Dave brought a lot of that to the party, right?
Sure, but still, it's like
Yeah.
the fun vibe of it all was great.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, those first 6 albums, they're part of my fucking DNA. Like, I know every note of those albums, man. It's just, yeah. And, even when Dave left and Sammy came on board, sure, I was nowhere near as enthused about the music, but I still followed it because Eddie's the fucking man. And I followed them all through that whole thing, the Gary Sharon stuff, all of it, because Eddie is always doing something interesting on guitar. Even if I don't like the music as much or I don't dig Sammy as much, I still followed it because you can't replace that fucking guy.
Well, and that's just it. And now Van Halen is done. Like, there's
Oh,
no
absolutely.
way. There is no
No.
way that there's going to
No.
be any more of that. You always hope that there'd be some rekindling of some of that fire. On fire,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that, different kind of truth. It got, mixed reviews. I liked a lot of it. It proved that he still had something left in the tank. He still had something left, and he proved it on that album. I thought, like, he can still wail.
They put out quite a vast amount of music that still sounds as fresh today as it did back
Oh.
in '76 or '7 or whatever when they were.
Totally.
Yeah,
I'm just going to say random shit that's popping into my head or that I
Yeah.
was thinking about. It's one thing to imitate somebody, right? Which everybody imitated Eddie. It's another to be the one being imitated, right? Like
Right.
he's the one creating this shit that everybody's copying. I
Yeah.
mean, come on. I mean, his lead playing, the rhythm playing, the songwriting. I mean, he just had it all going on at a super high fucking level.
At a very
Right?
young age too.
At
Like,
a very young age. Good point. Yep.
yeah. I mean, I get it. He's a guy from a musical family, and the piano was an important part of it. And he understood music, and he understood 12 notes and how all this kind of works together. But he said, "I'm going to
Absolutely.
go do different things with these 12 notes," and that's what he did, which is
Yep.
crazy. And popping into my head, Steve Vai made a post yesterday.
Yes.
Did you see the shoes?
I thought that
I
saw that and I thought, why didn't I think of that?
I know
It's so
exactly.
good.
And this is from a guy that, along the same lines, knew the 12 notes, very theoretical musician,
Yeah.
very, very versed in everything about it. He's like, yeah, untouchable. And he was.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he showed his shoes, the striped shoes, and he
Yeah.
said, well, nobody's going to fill these shoes. It was perfect.
Never to be filled.
And,
Yeah.
perfect segue into my next thought, Beau, mentioning Steve Vai, who I love. You love him. I love him. Who doesn't love Steve Vai? But it's one thing to be a shredder. Like Eddie was kind of the first shredder, I would say. It's one thing to do that. It's another to take that crazy, over-the-top fucking technique and write songs that are on the fucking radio selling millions of copies, but still weaving that crazy shit in there.
Right.
Unbelievable, right?
Well, you knew the impact with Michael Jackson. I think that was the pinnacle of the power that he had over a lot of musical genres, where you got the largest pop star at the time, guaranteed. Who's going to bring this awesome attitude to this song?
Well, who's gonna get me on rock radio?
Right. Exactly. But also fit.
He did.
But it fit. I mean, that's my favorite part of the song, obviously. And I could sing the solo right now without anything, for sure.
It's so good. And to show what kind of guy he is, he did it for free. Mm-hmm. He was on Beat It, which were the biggest fucking hits Michael Jackson ever had. He did it for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Who does that?
Yeah.
Oh, man. He's a fucking musician first, rock star second.
Absolutely. But that's, right? You could tell, man. The smile gives that away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally, man.
I don't know what else can be said. I know we just wanted to make sure we put something out because this is a huge traumatic situation for us as rock fans. And
I felt this one, man.
Yeah, like I said at the top, man, I was genuinely sad yesterday. And generally, I don't get that way too quickly.
Because I've told you this before, but, before I went to Graceland, I always thought it was weird that people got super emotional when their heroes would die or whatever. Because I'm like, you don't know these people. Like, I just thought, what is that all about? Until I went there and it happened. I'm like, holy shit. I think you don't realize in the back of your mind how much what somebody did means to your life, right?
Well, like we've highlighted here clearly, their music is usually associated with a good time, and those are great memories, and great memories don't disappear. It's
cheesy to say it, but it's true. It's a soundtrack to your life. It's that thing.
A soundtrack to the good times of your life.
Right. Or maybe getting you through something not so good. Either way, it's a powerful thing.
Randy, where have all the good times gone?
Dude, I know. Okay, I want to throw in one Eddie quote.
Sure.
That I thought was really cool.
Go.
Are you ready, sir? I don't know shit about scales or music theory. I don't want to be seen as the fastest guitar in town, ready and willing to gun down the competition. All I know is rock and roll guitar, like blues guitar, should be melody, speed, and taste. But more important, it should have emotion. I just want my guitar playing to make people feel something. Happy, sad, even horny. That sums up that guy to me.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny you say that because he did talk about his Frankenstein on numerous occasions being the hot rod guitar. Like it was meant for speed and it meant for this and it meant for that. It's funny how the instrument means something different than what he's doing with it, which is kind of interesting. Yeah.
Let's touch on that. He built his own guitar.
He knew what he wanted, man. He knew what he wanted. He really did. And there's only a few guys like that. We've talked about this on numerous podcasts about how you know who it is immediately. And it's not just the way he played, but it was the tonality that he created and what he was striving for.
The Brown sound.
It's a big deal. And I just urge everybody to, if you don't really know his path, learn it, read it.
Yeah.
Lots of great books. More importantly, listen to the music. and listen to it again, and maybe listen to more of it, because it's surprising how the hits become the hits and everything else becomes, especially in the time we live in now, where it's about hit based and about, you go back to the album tracks rarely. There's so much good stuff in there, like all the tracks, especially off those first 4 or 5 records.
You know what? I've said this before, but those first 4, I'd put up against Zeppelin's first 4.
Yeah.
I think they're as good as.
Yeah.
I really do.
Sure. Oh, come on.
I got no problem saying that.
And the variety, because you look at even the first one, where you got Eruption.
Yep.
But you also got Ice Cream Man.
Yep. Little Dreamer.
And Little Dreamer. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So good. Yeah. Well, yeah, he was such an innovator, right?
Clearly, a big loss.
Yeah.
We're all feeling it. We're going to continue to feel it for a while, but...
we will, yeah. Let's encourage people to leave their comments and tell us what Eddie and VH meant to you guys. And we'd love to hear your stories and what you have to say about it.
Sure.
Yeah. Crank up some VH and smile, like you said.
And like you said, you watch some videos too, and watch him, and really notice that this is about a good time. And even though he's gone to something else, let's celebrate that good time that he gave us all.
Yeah, and celebrate that music he gave to us. All right, man. Smile and crank up some Van Halen.
Yeah. Let the good times roll, and
happy trails.
Happy trails to you. Keep smiling on the land. Who is about the clouds when we're together? Just smile and think about sunny weather. Happy birthday to you till we meet.